Hi, my name is Shaheen Bhatt, and today I'm talking all things menstruation. So I got my first period when I want to say 13. And even though my mother had talked to me about it before, when I first got my period, I experienced a lot of shame. It was something I was very embarrassed about because despite the fact that I had been explained everything, there was still a lot of misconceptions that I had about period because it's just things that people said around me. So it wasn't, when I look back, it should have actually been kind of a new and almost exciting time in my adolescence. But because I had so many misconceptions about it, it was actually quite a stressful time. So one of the weirdest things that I've ever heard, and this is one of the first things I was told really about, menstruation, is that it's all the bad blood leaving your body. And that's such a horribly negative way to look at that. So, automatically when you're told something like that, firstly, you think that there's something bad in you that has to, once a month is, leaving you. So for me, it was one of the things that actually contributed to me feeling not so great about getting my period the first time because, it had a very negative connotation. So PMS for me is pretty much it's like I get a lot of physical stuff. So I get very bloated. I'm lucky I don't get a lot of pain. So that's something I'm lucky with. But I feel very bloated, and for me the biggest thing is I crave sugar like I can't even explain to you what sugar cravings I go through when I'm PMSing. So my hack of dealing with it is just eating sugar. The way I look at it is, this is something that I deal with. I have to deal with once a month. Sugar cravings, I have to deal with them once a month, and I indulge. It's a anything goes time for me, and I have fun with it. So the sanitary products that I use biodegradable sanitary pads at the moment, but I realize that unfortunately, because this is something that is a recurring thing in my life, I'm contributing to a lot of waste, a lot of plastic waste every month. So I made the switch to biodegradable, and I feel a lot better about that. But what I'm trying to do now is move on to the menstrual cup, because a lot of friends of mine actually started using one and said it was absolutely life changing. So that's my next go to. So the reason I think it's important that we have to normalize talking about menstruation and our periods is because there's so much misinformation, and there's so much ignorance about it, that again we've had for generations now, and as a result of that, it's actually hurting women, the sort of ignorance around it, because on one level, education is really required, especially in low economic groups. There's not enough infrastructure. They don't. A lot of people don't have access to sanitary products, and also because of a lack of education, there's not enough known about menstrual hygiene, which is a really really important thing to know about, and also culturally, right? So many cultures, ours especially, you're told that when you have your period, a lot of people miss school. You're told not to go into the kitchen. A lot of women aren't allowed into places of worship and things like that because for some reason it has been taught to us, so it's been told to us that this is something bad or it's something negative. And that shouldn't be something like, you shouldn't have to, when you're going and buying pads, come out of the chemist with a brown paper bag and hide it like it's something to be ashamed of. It's not. So I just think we need to combat all this misinformation. And again, the only way to do this is to normalize it by talking about it. And the more you talk about it, the less, problematic it seems to people who think it's problematic.